Hey guys, EBPMAN here. Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new AnyHill UM-1 electric scooter. We're going to check out the features, we're going to take it for a ride, and we'll talk about all the specs as well. Let's get right to it. Now the very first thing that we're going to take a look at are the specs for the scooter. This is a scooter that comes with a companion app, so you'll be able to have an app either on your iOS device or Android that's going to go with the scooter so that you can see speed, information about your scooter, distance, and battery life. From a speed perspective, you can expect 15.5 miles per hour, which is respectable for a scooter of this size. You're also looking at a range of 16.8 miles. Now, keep in mind that for me, my body weight, I'm at around 173 pounds, and I was able to hit these speeds, the 15.5, and maybe even push it a little bit further without any problem. It is very lightweight, at least in the category of scooters that we looked at, weighing only 29 pounds. So this is going to be a scooter that's really easy to transport for you, especially if you're going to be using it like a last mile device. So if you're going to be using this, let's say, to go to work, maybe from bus or train to the actual workplace, you'll be able to do this. No problem. Also, if you're going to be using it for short commutes like what we do, we like going to the grocery store on the scooter, so we scoot there and back. This is definitely not going to have a problem, especially because it's lightweight. It's going to be able to run for 16 miles, and then it has a pretty decent speed as well. Now, all this stuff is possible because it has a 350 watt motor. It does have a combination of two different braking systems. It has an ABS braking system, which is an internal mechanism for the front tire, and then it has a disc brake system for the back, which is going to make sure that this thing will start when you need it and stop when you want it to. So the power and then also the braking system is going to be great for you. It also has 16.9 inch wide board, right? So the wide board is relatively thin, but also wide enough for both of your feet to be just securely on top of it. And you'll see as we take a look at some of the features, the actual board itself, how it also features slip-proof material. Now you do get an 8.5 inch pneumatic tire, so that means that these are air tires, which then also contributes to a really simple ride. Meaning that's going to be nice, cushiony, and you're not going to really feel a lot of jarring when you're going through any kind of potholes or any surface imperfections on streets, sidewalks, or even if you take this a little bit off terrain. Now, one of the things about this is because it has an IPX54 rating, you don't really have to be concerned with any kind of puddles or being caught in the rain because of the IP rating. So let's talk about the overall ride, and we'll take a closer look at the scooter. All right, so the first thing we're going to take a look at is the actual steering and the handles here. So as I mentioned, the actual handles themselves are grippy, they stay in place, and you also then have where you would accelerate right here, you have two braking mechanisms. You have, this is the front brake, and then here you have the rear brake. You also have a bell, right? So that's what the bell would sound like. Pretty loud, right? So this is going to be great, especially if you have any pedestrians that get in the way, or just to notify people that you're either coming on their right or their left. You have this little hook right here is what locks the actual handle down when you're folding the bike, or in this case, the scooter itself. So as you bring this down, it locks into place and it makes it really easy to carry. Remember, this is a very light scooter as we compare it to some of the other scooters that we've had on the channel. You do have this power button here that turns on this display, and you have, again, nice illumination here. Really nice illumination. Very easy to read in direct sunlight, and then you also then have your different speed settings that you'd be going through with your battery level. So very informative display, and then again, all you do is press and hold to turn that off. It's that simple. You do have a front, I would say, light right here in the side. This is something that you can turn on really easy, and it's also very bright. So if you're going to be using this at night, you don't have to worry about anyone not seeing you. And then you also have a rear marker as well, so that as you're braking, they can see you brake. Now, one other thing I wanted to highlight is cable management, because I don't really see many scooters that have such clean cable management. You can see here, this is your braking mechanism, and notice how it gets tucked right there on the side. See how it goes in? It goes right in the steering column, and then it comes out right there on the bottom. Makes it really simple. Nothing's going to get tangled, and then when you fold it, nothing's in the way. Really like the way they've done that. Very clean. Now, as you took a look at the bed itself, One thing I want to highlight is that it's not using a sandpaper type material that you see on some skateboards, and also I've seen this in some scooters. This is a rubberized material that makes it really easy to clean. So all you have to do is wipe it down if your feet get dirty when you come back from a ride, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Now, if it does get wet or your feet are kind of dirty, you don't also have to worry about slipping because the rubber material does a really good job of keeping your feet in place. Now, it is a narrow bed, right? So it's not the widest one that we've had. So it's not going to be something that you can have your feet side by side, but this is definitely the type of scooter that you'd have one foot in front, one foot in back as you're riding. Now, the braking system for the back of the scooter is based off of a disc brake system. And you can notice how, again, everything is nice and clean. And everything is nicely tucked away. And you do have on each side some markers that are going to be reflective at night. Now, to fold your scooter is pretty simple. Basically, you have this little plastic link right here that secures this in place from accidental opening. And then once you have kind of released it, and I'll bring it back into view right here. So you can see this right here, how it comes in. Once this pulls away, all you do is reduce this lever or pull it down, and then the actual column comes down and it locks into place. Now, charging the scooter is a snap. You can see right there on the bottom the actual charging port. It does have a rubberized protective cover to be able to support that IPE rating so that you don't have to worry about it getting wet or damaged in any way. Now, for those of you who are a little curious about how bright the light is, let me go ahead and pop that on. You can see it's really nice and bright. Now, overall, from a ride perspective, I found that the steering handle was at the right size, for at least for my body. I've ridden a lot of scooters. Sometimes the actual steering column is too high. Sometimes the steering column is too low. And for me, it was just right. The actual steering column, or the handles themselves, were firm. I didn't have any problems after they've been tightened, them coming loose. And the grip was also something that I found that was very comfortable. The throttle was very responsive. The ride, because it has pneumatic tires, was a delight. This thing was super smooth when it came to riding because, again, you have those pneumatic tires which are air-filled, right? So you're going to be cruising really nicely. For my body weight, as I mentioned, I'm 173 with my weight loss, and this scooter did well when it came to the speeds, when it came to just overall navigation. And because the tires are, 8.5 inches and they're not wide tires like some of the other scooters that we've looked at, I really didn't have any problems navigating or taking sharp turns. So if you're turning with this, the turning radius is really nice as well. Now, this scooter also is easy to collapse, and because it is 29 pounds, if you wanted to go into the grocery store and you really didn't have, let's say, for example, a bike chain or something to tie it down, this is easy to just fold and then just take it with you. It's 29 pounds. It's really simple to carry. So I really enjoyed my overall experience. Braking, like I mentioned, was good. It stopped when it needed to, and it took off when I wanted it to. Now, the stopping itself wasn't something that was jerky at all, but you do have, again, that dual braking system that really makes it comfortable to ride and stop when you really want to because of kids or any kind of animals that are getting in the way. So overall, experience was good. My feet felt secure on the bed. I didn't have any kind of slippage or slipping problem with it, and my experience was really positive with it. The only thing I would say is I wish it went faster. At 15.5, I'm kind of used to speed. This is a great scooter for someone who I'd say isn't a speed demon, someone who may be a little bit nervous with scooters. Great for kids too because of the speed itself. So guys, that wraps up our review of the AnyHill UM-1 electric scooter. See you in the next video.